stage name is Brown Sugar. Yes, exactly. Because I am brown. So, next, we're gonna have our first performer. It's Dan. So, Dan, give it up for Dan.
If there was a wrestler named Paper, would he always beat The Rock? Something I've always found ironic is that the colors red, white, and blue signify freedom from tyranny and oppression, unless they're in your rearview mirror. Then it's game over. A buddy of mine got pulled over by the police the other day. The cop comes up to him and says, "Papers?" He says, "Scissors," and drove off because he won. So a little bit about me. I lived at home until I was married. So going on 32 years, I guess. No, I'm just kidding. But 24 years I lived at my house. And growing up living with my parents, they're really just obsessive about keeping things clean and orderly. It's like they have CDO, which CDO is OCD, except they put the letters alphabetically. But my mom, she is meticulous about cleaning, especially if we're expecting company. If we're expecting company, man, she put my brother and I to work. We cleaned, we dusted, we swept, we mopped, we changed the oil in the car, we reshingled the roof. Half the time we didn't even know who was coming over. "Mom, who's coming over today?" "The FedEx man's gonna drop off a package at 4. Now less talking and more cleaning." My dad was even worse about keeping things clean. He had this kind of radar about when things went wrong. If there was a mess in his kitchen, it didn't go over too well. I've always been a mess maker, which has really displeased my parents and brought shame to my family and house and all that. Anybody here seen those Bounty commercials? Where, you got the precocious, vivacious 3-year-old kid, and he's got a full pitcher of Kool-Aid, and he's going to try to pour it into a shot glass. And it never goes right. It just spills all over the place. What do his parents do? "Oh, little Timmy, you made a mess. We're just going to clean it up with one sheet of Bounty because it solves all the world's problems. Now go upstairs and play with your Barbies, Timmy." I wish I had those parents. This is 5-year-old Dan trying to pour a full 2-gallon jug of milk into my bowl of cereal. My dad knows something's up because he comes in the kitchen like Harry from Home Alone. "Ratcha, fratcha, ratcha, what is this?" And he just ratcha, fratcha, and he's dancing all over the place. He's upset about this spill. And my dad's sitting here doing this, making a fool of himself in the kitchen, and I try to ease the situation with a joke. I've always said that I've been funny, and I try to tell jokes, and growing up as a kid, that was the same story. So, as my dad's doing this little spilled milk interpretive dance and chanting, scenes from 90s sitcoms such as Boy Meets World, Full House, Saved by the Bell, they kind of fly into my young and impressionable mind. And, these scenes, they take a bad situation, but they make it funny. Like Grandma Jean, she's sitting on her deathbed, taking her last dying breaths. And someone says, "Whoa, even on her deathbed, Grandma Jean's got bad breath. Why don't you have a Mentos? Chase it down with some Diet Coke and you'll go out here with a bang." So, while my dad's doing this whole what's going on, I try to, ease the situation. I said, "Dad, chill, it's okay. No use crying over spilled milk." Next thing I know, I'm waking up in a hospital bed, and my family's around me, and my vision's blurry, and some of my friends go, "Whoa, he's got bruises on his eyes. He does look like a raccoon." My dad didn't beat me much. Dunkin Donuts has a slogan. They say, "America runs on Dunkin'." My thoughts is that nobody that eats at Dunkin Donuts runs. but to me, saying that America runs on Dunkin' is like saying asthmatics breathe with cigarettes. It doesn't make sense. Dunkin' Donuts is trying to appeal to a larger demographic, though. They're going to come out with an insulin-glazed donut, so diabetics can eat and not feel shameful. Oh. Have you ever been so hungry that anything in your kitchen seems like heaven? Like, oh my gosh, when I come home from school, I'm going to destroy that can of Spam in my cupboard. Vienna sausages, ramen soup. Yeah, fast food commercials don't do that for me. The only thing about fast food commercials is that they trick me into thinking that I might actually get the burger that's on the menu. Half the time when I order, it's a taco folded, I don't know what it is, I ordered a Big Mac. But the one thing I don't like about fast food commercials is that they always show the people eating their burgers, you know, like on the beach or on a golf course at the top of a mountain. How do they get there with their food? I can't even make it out of the parking lot without chowing down. And then by the time I'm done, I gotta swing through the drive-thru to get another burger. It's a vicious cycle. I've always thought that if Taco Bell delivered, it would be a pot smoker's dream come true. If he could get to the telephone. Where are my hands? Where are my fingers? Are my fingers just offshoots? They're arms coming out of your hand. I want Taco Bell. So, anybody ever been to an amusement park? Yeah. I love amusement parks. I love paying for near-death experiences. Oh, I almost had a heart attack. That was awesome. I've known people that have had heart attacks. It's not that fun. So what did they tell me? But you know, the rides that I'm thinking about, you know, you have this drop zone. There's several variations depending on which theme park you go to, but the idea is the same. There's a bunch of people, and they sit around this seats, and they take you up this pole, and they take you high up into the stratosphere, and then they drop you at the speed of, oh my gosh, if this crashes, I'm gonna die. Now, those drop zones, I like them. I have a lot of fun on them. I try to go on them. You know, this one time when I went on these drop zones, there's this girl that was sitting next to me. She was a little uneasy about it. And I said, don't worry, it's fine, it's going to be cool. Yeah. And as we were going up and descending into the atmosphere, you know, we're sharing oxygen tanks. We're high-fiving airline pilots as they go by. Stay classy. You know, we're trying to dodge satellites as we're ascending into the stratosphere. This girl starts freaking out. Now, I don't know her. I've never seen her before in my life. But she's like, oh my gosh, oh, what did I get on this ride for? What did my friends take me on this ride for? What if it crashes? What if the brakes go on? Oh my goodness! Oh, I can't stand these kinds of people. This is not my first time on this drop zone, so I said, relax, it's okay. If the brakes give out, it's only going to hurt for a second. Not even that much. We'll probably surprise the paramedics. They won't even be expecting us. That really didn't help her out. She turned hysterical, man. I mean, she's, oh my gosh, you would have thought I asked her to make me a sandwich. Anyway, that's all my time. Thank you so much. I'm Dan Rickson.
And cut. Oh, you actually got it. Thank you. So, I wanted to start off, circling a chair apparently, talking about a couple things that I've come up with just recently. So bear with me, I have them written down. And if they're bad jokes, I'm gonna fire my assistant because he came up with them. Okay, so these are, you might be a college student if you buy something and you think to yourself, how much ramen would this buy me? You might be a college student. If you refer to your house as the place where the money comes from, you might be a college student. If you have an entire extensive zombie apocalypse plan, but not a grad plan, you're definitely a college student. If you spend more money on textbooks than clothes, shelter, and food combined, you're definitely a college student. If sleep falls into the same category as Dungeons, Dragons, Tooth Fairies, and ominous politicians, you might be a college student. And if you go on a 15-hour coma, you also might be a college student. If brushing your teeth means rinsing for 15 seconds with Listerine, apparently some of you have done this. It's not good, I'm just saying. The same goes is if you think taking a shower is applying deodorant. You're wrong. Oh wait, I can't tell that one. No. If you shave more often than you sleep, you might be a college student. Okay, apparently that wasn't funny. A lot of the guys are like, my sideburns look great, shut up. If an easy homework assignment only takes 3 hours to complete, you might be a college student. And finally, if you start that easy homework assignment 3 hours and 5 minutes before it's due, you're definitely a college student. So that's it for that. Now on to the funny stuff. So just a quick question. How many of you were here last show that we did a couple weeks ago? Perfect. Okay, so I was actually on the phone a couple weeks ago with the place where all the money comes from. Okay, I'm glad you guys got that. And I was talking to my mom and I'm thinking, okay, this is a nice conversation, Mom, when's it gonna end? And then it got awkward for a couple seconds and she asked, what are your plans for this weekend? It was weird because I was like, isn't that what the guy is supposed to ask the girl on a date? And it was weird, so I was talking to my mom and I'm sitting there thinking, I actually have a date for this weekend, but I didn't want to tell her. Because just a little background to my family, I was thinking about it and, before my mission, she always told me, stay away from women's, they're like a plague, don't touch them. It'll throw you off on your mission, I don't know. And so I dealt with it. It was like a kid going to the store and wanting that special box of cereal and he grabs it and he puts it in the cart and he's like, Mom, can we get the Fruity Pebbles? And she just stands there, she's like, no, put it back. And so I put it back and then I'd grab the box again and she slapped my hand and that's how it went for like 19 years. And so finally I get back from my mission and I'm like, wow, this feels great. I can go on dates now. I felt like the bee's knees. Which, apparently for those of you who don't understand, feels a lot like awesomeness. And so I'm going through my mind, do I tell her, do I not tell her? And I was like, I'm kind of proud of the fact I got a date. Because this always gets a date, ladies. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna tell her. And I get up, puff out my chest like a man, and I tell her in my manliest voice, I got a date, Mom. No, it actually sounded like normal. And so, it was just dead silent after that. For like 30 seconds. Which feels a lot like an eternity. And so I'm going through my mind, I'm like, okay, you can say something now. And then my sister yells up in the background. My sister's name is Katie. Hi, Katie. She's not here right now. That's a video recording joke, if you guys don't get it. So anyway, she pipes up in the background and she's like, he got a date? As if to say, if this were the apocalypse and there were no other guys, I would not get a date even in that situation. And so I'm like, okay, that's fine, you got a low blow on me. And then 30 seconds go by with another awkward silence. She's like, my sister's like, you got a date with a girl? I'm like, no, Caitlin, I had a date with my Xbox. Which unfortunately is how it turned out because she stood me up. Yeah. Needless to say, I went out and played one of my favorite games. And I was sitting there and I played Assassin's Creed. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Yeah! There we go. Okay, that's the response I'm looking for, because if nobody does it, nobody's gonna get this joke. So anyway, I'm sitting there, and I wanted to celebrate the fact that I was not gonna go out with this. Oh wait, I can't say that either. And so. Okay, young lady, I'll take that. And so I'm sitting there, and after I play this game, I just feel this incredible rush to go running around and jumping off buildings. And so I put on my hoodie and I go out there and I'm just like, okay, I got this. And I got like 20 feet, and then I started to sound like Darth Vader, just, I can't breathe. Which, for me, 20 feet is a lot. I mean, normally when I go out and I run, I forget things. Like, I can't run. So, I'm sitting there, and I've got my hood, and I decide to get on this building. And bear with me for a second, let's see how this goes. And I get up there, and I just sit there like this. I've got my hood on. I should have thought that out. Okay, hasn't fallen off yet, so I'm good. So I'm sitting there, and then it dawns on me, and I hear it, and it sounds cool. So I'm like, I got this. And I see a bale of hay out in the corner. I'm like, okay. Wow, I didn't cause an earthquake either. And so I jump on what I thought was a bale of hay, but as it turned out, it was this Idaho girl who used a lot of hairspray to get her hair way out of here. I didn't know that. So I landed on her, and she's out cold. And I'm thinking to myself, uh-oh. And then often, like, the corner of my eye, I see the smart car cops coming by. Which, just a quick question, how are they supposed to arrest you in that situation? There's no room in those cars. And so I'm thinking, okay, I'm just gonna do it like Assassin's Creed. So I quickly run over to the nearest bench and just sit there like this. And the cops drive right by and they didn't even notice. The girl's sitting right there next to me, like pointing at me. And I'm just like, I got this. And so, one other thing before I finish, this is just something that happened to me this last week. Quick word of advice for the guys. Don't hold the door open at Devo. I'm just gonna let that sink in for a little bit. Take your time. Okay, apparently nobody got that joke. So anyway, I'm sitting there holding the door open, and I figured, while I'm holding the door open, I'll just call my friend and see where he's at to like hang out with him at Devo and sit with him. So I've got the door open, and I think in my mind, there's only gonna be like 5-10 people that I'm holding the door open for. That's a lie. So I'm sitting there, I get on my phone, call up my friend, he tells me, okay, I'm in a certain spot. And I was like, okay, I'll be there in like 2 seconds. I'm just gonna close the door. And right when I hang up, 400 people just come screaming through. I'm like, where did you guys come from? And so during this entire time, I was able to check my Facebook. I was able to create a Twitter account, update that Twitter account, and it says, holding the door open at Devo, #TrueGentleman. And then I get this guy coming by, and I was like, man, there's a lot of people. Where did you all come from? And this guy comes up to me, and he's like, when a mommy and a daddy really love each other, that's where people come from. Hello? Apparently that wasn't funny either. So he's coming by, and then another guy looks at me, and normally I don't get this, but a lot of the people apparently were here at the last show like you guys were, and the guy from afar is just like trying to figure out who I was, because he was in this long line apparently, and he found out and he was like, hey, it's you! I'm like, I don't know your name. What's going on here? And he came up to me and he was like, you're that dude. I'm like, yeah, I guess I am. He's like, Spirit of Rigs. Yes! Like, oh, that guy! I am! And he was like, okay, I get it now. And then I shut the door in his face and left. Because I didn't know him. That's my time, guys.
cousin from my dad's side who was twice removed from the country. Alright, so Chandler.
How's everyone doing? This is the only place I ever ask that and everyone yells. Could you imagine if that happened on the street? Hey man, how are you doing? Yeah! That's cool. So I found out something recently that quotes are funnier when you don't know the context sometimes. Like, Mom, why is there a squirrel in the dryer? Don't worry, I'm pretty sure that doesn't count as a bomb. This next one, actually, I'll tell you who told it. Why is the room shaking? Michael J. Fox. Okay, so bomb jokes are okay, Michael J. Fox is too far. I sense a terrorist in here. But sometimes even that won't do it. It's worse because you can just add something to it, like quotation marks. You can be like, I'm going to the store, or I love you. And that adds all the meaning you need. Even worse is when you don't need to say anything at all and everyone can assume everything from you. Like, I walked up to this girl, and you know how Flynn from that one with the long hair. Shut up, nerd. I don't know what it is. So yeah, from Tangled. He gives her the smolder. And I tried that. Here's my smolder. Gets all the things. Girls are weird. Cause it's, yeah, you laugh because it's true. Because I was with this, you can, hang on. Don't laugh at me, I'm messing up here. So, girls, it doesn't matter how obvious or how big your hint is, guys don't understand it. You have to be perfectly blunt. Like, this could happen. You can be like, hey Shannon, what's going on? And Shannon can be like, I'm going to Taco Bell. I met this girl once though, and we started dating, and it's cool because she was nerdy, like really overtly nerdy, to the point that one time we were making out, and yeah, not a lot of comedians get that apparently. So that was happening, and she turns around, midway through it, she goes, talk nerdy to me. And I was like, all right, I guess I'm gonna have to do this, so can I get a volunteer? No, all right. So it's like, Harry Potter, Dungeons and Dragons, Katniss, shoot the arrow at my hand. Yeah, like I said, girls are weird, like, it's just the truth. Do you guys think if clowns got in a fight, it would sound funny? Honk. Speaking of like party stuff, balloons are really weird. Because they're the only gift you can give to someone that you also generate with your body. You can be like, here's a bag of my breath. Cherish that. I like playing Monopoly, but I don't like playing with my family because every time I go up to get the bathroom, I lose $500. Alright, apparently none of you had horrible sisters. That's fine, she's married now, she's stealing her husband's money. I was making noodles in my kitchen the other day, and it was very straining. Sometimes I feel sad, and guys are gonna make fun of me, I feel sad. And I go out and I get a pregnancy test and I take it, because that way I can just say, well, at least I'm not pregnant. It feels good, it really does. So I'm from Portland. Portland's cool. Oh, we got someone from Portland? Yeah, you know how weird it is there. Yeah, like I didn't realize truly how weird it was until I saw something on the street. I want to reenact what I saw. So there's a lady walking her cat, but instead of a leash, it's a piece of bacon. So she's walking down, and then across from her, there's a zebra doing the moonwalk with a boombox, playing the theme song to NCIS. Now over here, we have a group of Nixons. People all wearing Nixon masks, all praising a pole with an ostrich on top of it saying, Arrested Development Season 5. And then you got some guy way over there who's running around in some sort of weird video game outfit, running around going, Parkour! And that's Portland. But I'm weird. And being weird, it's kind of hard to find a girl who likes you. You have to either find a girl who's nerdy or someone who likes you for who you are. And I'm lucky. I found someone who likes me for who I am, which is good because I am running out of chloroform. Not a Michael J. Fox joke doesn't sound so bad. But you know, this girl, I met her, and I decided to take her out on a date. And I took her out to, I'm exhausted now. I took her out on a date to a haunted maze, because what's more sexier than a guy going, Aah! And I had to take her out, and I'm like, all right, I'll be brave for her. And so we're walking through. She looks like a chair in this joke. And then all of a sudden, a zebra with a boombox walks in. And I'm like, oh no! And normally I would freak out and I would just run away and scream, but this time I felt brave. Today I felt brave, so I was like, don't worry, I'll save you with this chloroform rag. I was saving it for later, but I really like her. Wow, that chair is taking a beating. I gotta sit down. I wonder what I should do my next joke on. Aha! Thank you. All right, so who here has actually seen me before? 4 people. Okay. Then a few of you know I like doing jokes with a whiteboard because it's fun and it really illustrates something more. Ha! That wasn't a joke. You must be kind of stupid. So here's a graph of how fun roller coasters are. All right, here we go. $100 degrees. This is a hot day. Here we go. Okay, this is the difference between prestige, first class, the best of the best, and just the opposite. All right, one more for all of you because I like you. All right, this is two friends. Can everyone see that? Yep. All right, cool. This is a friend showing his friend a gun. And this is a picture of a man being robbed. For all of you who think I'm racist, he's wearing a mask because he's robbing a person. All right, that's it for me.
Indian though, I don't know. His name's Brian, so give it up for Brian!
pretty good turnout. I mean, this is the second of 2 shows, for those of you who don't know. There was another one at 7 o'clock, and there were quite a bit less people at the show, which I kind of like, because it does prove the age-old theory that darker people do have more friends. Well, my name is Brian. I'm from Connecticut, which by itself should be a punchline. I'm gonna reaffirm all your thoughts right now. I am single and I have no prospects. Most of you guessed correctly. A lot of it is because of the action right here in this region. Yeah, it's weird when you have less hair on your head than you do above your eyes. Yeah, it's just kind of how I roll. Real quick, just because he was on a couple sets ago, Justin up here, he's in my English class, and I remember the first day I met him, he asked me a question that I thought was kind of funny. He turned to me one day and he was like, how do you tell the difference between a fat chick and a pregnant chick? To which I responded, the pregnant chick still has hope in her eyes. Calm down. I only have so much time, all right? Gotta report to my parole officer. Well, it's weird though, because I've only had one long-term relationship rather. And it was weird because it's not that I dislike people that are in long-term relationships. I feel like it's difficult to do. It's hard to understand. Like, I like to use a food analogy. Like, I love Oreos, and I could eat a lot of Oreos. But after months of just Oreos and Oreos and Oreos and Oreos, I want to make out with a Hispanic chick. There will be a sign-out sheet in the back. Maybe you're not Hispanic, maybe you're just a white girl that tans well. I don't care. It's really your preference. Yeah, it's kind of weird, because like, again, I've only had one real relationship, yet I always get girls asking me for dating advice, which for me makes about as much sense as me going to Glenn Beck if I want to become pen pals with Obama. I just don't see it as working out or having any good tips or experience. But it's weird, because I've noticed a few things about women that to me make no sense. And ladies, I'm going to call you all out right now.